All right, welcome to the Franchise Time Machine. I was watching the end of Ezra interviewing EVC in NYC 2. So that's why we're starting a little bit late tonight. That was it's a pretty good treat. So last night we tested out one of our community games, and we can talk about the results of that a little bit. They were pretty interesting, pretty typical Mets. But I consider that game fully tested in OP26 and ready to go. And we're going to test every game before we roll it out in OP26. No rule changes in that one. Ezra Denny, thank you for the raid. Welcome in Raiders. And Ezra, thank you for an awesome stream. That interview of your interview of EVC and NYC 2 was awesome. Well, Sir Pug, that's why this game is so great. You can make almost anything happen. Except, as we learned last night, I could not make my New York Mets win the World Series. So last night, I have a bunch of community games that it's just a channel part redemption. People can play them on stream. But I'm testing them all out in OT26 just to make sure we don't need to tweak any of the rules or anything. And so we tested out last night one of our historic games, which is Force 4 Trades, in which whoever's playing can take whatever team they choose. And EVC and NYC, thank you so much for the sub. Not just the sub, 10 months of subs, which means you're a subscriber. When I was still figuring out how to stream and was muted for 8 innings of play by play and was often streaming to like 2 people. So thank you for the ongoing support. Appreciate it. Yes, EVC has been around so long. You subscribe to music lessons. That's right. Amazing reference. So yeah, so last night we played Force 4 Trades, and in that it doesn't have to be 2024. You could pick any team. I've done it with the 62 Mets. Fox Hill has done it with the 87 Twins. Um, you know, a lot of people will choose a team that they like, but like maybe one of their worst years to try to turn them around. I thought I'd play it with the 24 Mets, who made a pretty good playoff run last year. And here's what we did. I forced trades with the Dodgers for Ohtani, the Yankees for Aaron Judge, the Phillies for Zach Wheeler, because you have to be strategic. Like the Phillies are in division, right? So I'm taking a pitcher away, and I took Chris Sale from the Braves. So I took 2 top starters from 2 division rivals. I took Ohtani from the NL pennant winners and eventual World Series winners, and I took Aaron Judge from a potential World Series opponent, and made the team way better. And of course, the Mets are still gonna Met, and we lost in the World Series to the Twins in 6 games. It's uncanny how accurate the simulation is in OTP that the Mets cannot win the World Series. so so yeah, that's one of the community games. Otani was not 2-way in 24, so he was not 2-way in the simulation. He had no pitching ratings to speak of. He had high potential pitching ratings because we know he's come off of really good pitching seasons and will likely project to pitch well when he's recovered from his injury. But the game was accurate in that he did not pitch in 24, so he did not have pitching ratings in 24. So tonight I thought it'd be fun to test out another one of our community games, which is Shopping Spree. And again, it doesn't have to be 24. I'm just using these teams because I've been excited and looking forward to using some 2024 teams when the new game came out. Um, the latest I will go in one of our historic sims is the the last year with full data. So in OOTP 25, the 2023 season was the last year of the full data. In OOTP 26, we now get full 2024 data and ratings. So that means 50-50 Otani is in the mix. It means the 41 win White Sox are in the mix. I've been looking forward to the 41 win White Sox. So because I thought that would be a fun team to turn around. I thought about doing another one of our. So here we have a bunch of these games. So I did Force 4 trades, which is, you pick 4 teams and you make them trade you any player of your choice. Peak performances has been a popular one. That's when you choose any 5 players on your team and you can replace them with whatever you consider to be the peak version of themselves. This is especially good for teams that were like, still had a lot of up and coming players that hadn't hit their stride yet, and or maybe had a mix of washed up veterans. You bring in the peak versions of the veterans and the peak versions of those prospects, and you can have a really fun team. Major League Farm Team, this was inspired by how my friends and I used to play Stratomatic Baseball. But in this one, you can pick any other Major League team and treat them as your farm team and basically just like call up to your team 6 of their players. And you can send down to them any 6 players from your active roster. This is especially fun if you choose a rival team to do it with and just like raid them for parts. But tonight, I looked at the White Sox roster, and they need so much help that Shopping Spree is the one that brings the most players in. You can bring in any 7 free agents from the previous free agent class. So the 23-24 free agency class, which has some good players in it. The reason you get 7 players is there's kind of diminishing returns. Like most free agent classes have like maybe 1 or 2 top flight free agents, and then the rest, not quite as good. The other thing is it's highly variable from year to year how good the free agency class is. And so that's why you get the most here. And you don't have to worry about salary. You can add whoever you want. Now, I say you can sign any 7 players from the free agency class. Technically, what we end up doing is we have to trade for them because they're already on rosters. But that's what we're going to do tonight. Because the White Sox roster is so needing of improvement in so many places, this is the community game that gets them the most help. The other thing is this includes free agent Otani. So we'll get to see Otani again tonight. So in fact, I think maybe a good place to start. Oh, well, as always, let's start with the pack giveaway form. So we always do a pack giveaway in our streams and simulations. The idea here is we're going to guess the outcome of tonight's game. Now I'm going to put the form up as soon as I can because I know we start late and lots of people have to go to bed. You can submit your form. You don't have to be present to win. If you end up winning, you'll get your packs after the stream, and I submit them to OOTP via Nicolino, and he gets them sent out for us. But you don't have to submit them until I'm ready to sim. So if you're going to be around, you might as well wait to see what the free agent class looks like. All right, so let's test. I'm going to update the title, and then I'll put the form in the stream so you can watch it while I edit it. That way, if you have any questions about the questions, you can ask them. So this is Shopping Spree. Okay, so I'm going to make a copy of the form from last night. The questions are usually pretty similar. for these historic games. So let me just update the title and then I'll put it up on the screen. Yeah, but how perfect that the the Mets, even with all that help, could not win a World Series. Lost to the Twins. Such a Met thing to do. That's why when everyone was like asking me, "Aren't I excited about the Mets signing Juan Soto?" I was like, "Yeah, it's cool, I guess." Because like I kind of know what's gonna happen still. All right, there you go. So I've just changed the title. So in tonight's stream, I'll be testing a new game called Shopping Spree. We did play it in OOTP25. And this is his OOTP26 debut. So, okay, the rules are choose any MLB team and historic season. In this case, it'll be the 2024 Chicago White Sox. Now, for these games, usually there are two ways people seem to like to play, and two ways to kind of get on the leaderboard. The first is to pick a really bad team and have the biggest turnaround, right? By increasing the number of wins, taking them, from, in this case, a 4-1 team to a 500 team or even a playoff team. Or the other thing people seem to like to do is take one of their favorite teams that just missed out on a championship or just missed out on the playoffs and then turn them into, a contender. You're going to sign any 7 free agents from the preseason free agent class. So choose any 7 phrase to sign. All right, and then we will use the force trade function in OOTP26 to add those players to your team. Select 7, or I guess send enough players to your reserve roster to make room for your new players. And then set strategy, pitching staff, lineups, and depth charts. Okay. All right, so the actual, now we need to update this for the White Sox. Let me pull up a handy baseball reference for that. And in the questions, I also add some real 24 White Sox stats to help you by giving you some reference points. Okay, so the White Sox 22 Chicago White Sox went 41 and 121. The AL Central. Oh, say 5th. Last. Last place in the AL Central. Finishing, wow, a whopping 50 and a half games behind. Behind the Cleveland Guardians. Amazing. 50 games behind. 50 and a half games. No, 51. Sorry, it's 51 and a half games behind. I need to correct that. $51 and a half games behind. Of course, they did not make the playoffs. So we can delete all this. Okay, and as far as the question goes, closest answer wins. We are not using Price is Right rules. It's 7 packs for first place, 3 packs for second place. Hey, Kayaking Santa and Skateboarding Santa. Good seeing you. We've got this form almost ready to post. Now, we have a new way of playing this. The last question before we go into the numerical tiebreakers is how many wins this team will get. After that, if we have any ties, it's not going to be Survivor style. It'll be whoever gets the most closest answers out of all the numerical questions other than the total wins. The total wins will still always be our first kind of tiebreaker because it's such an important question. It is a 162 game season in 2024. The era modifiers are on, which means that's what the game uses to make it feel like OOTP, to make it feel like the 24 season. But the additional modifiers are off, which means if we brought in a bunch of really good players, it wouldn't. Oh, good, Tommy. Tommy, all I do is I'm glad you're enjoying these. Yeah, so we do games like this. We do experiments in the base game, which you might have seen, and then we do theme simulations. Like we recently did the Octavio Dotel simulation to commemorate his career after he passed away in the Dominican Republic. Club collapse. So yeah, this is the third type of stream we do these games, community games. And yeah, and you can play too. It's just a matter of saving up enough channel points. Larnack Cast Carver, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. All right, so now I should have enough information to. Hold on, I can't see my form. Here we go. Okay. All right, so let's see. Please, if you do want your packs, please make sure OTP login ID is correct, including the capitalization. That's how OTP develops will send you your packs if you win. And your Twitch name is what we use in the stream to talk about the guesses. So the questions are, will this team make the playoffs? Now, for a team this bad, we usually add another question before it. Or 2 questions before it. Oh, actually, no. I think it's enough. Will this team finish with a 500 or better regular season record? Okay. So will it be a 500 or better team? Again, it's coming from 41 wins. Will it be a playoff team? Will it make it to the World Series? Will it win the World Series? Now, for some teams that we take, like the 41 win White Sox, these might seem like ridiculous questions, but we leave them on here because we use this same form for lots of different sims. Just out of consistency, it also makes it easier for me, but also for the people in the chat, they get familiar with the form, so hopefully you have fewer people getting questions wrong because they didn't understand the question. Because that would never happen, right, Reb Jr.? If Reb Jr. is here. Okay, will it make it to the World Series? Will it win this World Series? Will a player from this team win a Cy Young Award? Will a batter on this team win an MVP? And right now we have the sentence change so that pitchers cannot win the MVP. Otani's not pitching, so I feel okay with this. When he starts pitching again, I'll have to rethink this. The reason I do this is pitchers already have their premier award in the Cy Young. Batters don't, so I want to make sure we get to see what batter that the AI voters choose for. Okay, how many regular season games will this team win? This is the last question before we get into the tiebreak zone. And again, the actual was 41 wins. All right. What is the highest WAR generated? So this is where I have to go to Baseball Reference. let me pull up the 2024 White Sox. All right, highest WAR. The highest batting WAR. I mean, what do you expect from a 31 win team? You know, it's Luis. I thought it was Robert, but BREF says it's Robert. I didn't realize that. So it's Louis Robert. Louis Robert with a 1.4. If we weren't already my theme team, Louis Robert would be eligible to play on the Phonics theme team. Hey, Reb Jr., welcome in. So the batting WAR was Louis Robert, and the best pitching WAR actually not too bad. 4.6 by Eric Fetty. Yeah, well, T Destroyer, hopefully I can get the form up before you go to bed so you can at least participate in the pack giveaway. All right, highest batting average on this team, minimum 300 plate appearances, was. Oh, Tommy Pham just missed out with 297 plate appearances. So Lennon Sosa with a 254 average. All right. And then ERA. ERA. This is a 100 innings minimum pitched. Eric Fetty with a 3.11. Not bad. Not bad. So we don't have to replace the entire pitching staff. Fetty and Crochet. Not bad. You have to stay up long enough to realize that you won packs. There a bunch of packs should have gone out today. In fact. So I've been in this mode because we've been in launch mode for a while, including Go, finally launched recently, which I highly recommend. It is $9.99, but it's great for like entering tournaments while you're out and about, or if you're in a pinch and you have to do a draft while you're busy doing other stuff. You can at least get the draft done. But anyway, now that we're out of that mode, I'm going to try to send Nicolino the pack giveaway results more frequently. I've been trying to save them up and send them like on Sundays or Mondays so he can do them when he has time instead of like bombarding him all the time. But I think I'm gonna, now that we're out of that phase, I'm hoping I can just like bother him a little bit more often. Okay, regular season home runs. That's what I was looking for. Sorry. Home run leader on this team, Benintendi with 20. And Benintendi, not a bad player, has had some good seasons, but this year hit 229. Okay, strikeouts thrown by the player who led the team in strikeouts. Crochet with 209. More than the Mets had. Okay, OPS leader on this team. Again, minimum 300 plate appearances. It would have been Pham, but again, he misses out. Not enough plate appearances. Paul DeYoung, just over, well, not just over, 300 and 63 plate appearances. With a 706. To Young, and then Whip. Again, looking for 100 innings pitched. Crochet with a 1.068. Better than the Mets. All right, so those are the questions. Good luck, everybody. Let's put the game up while I publish this. Oh, I've been watching myself in, what is this? Late Iron? All right, the form is ready to accept responses. I will put the link in the chat. Oh, we're up 2-0 in round 3. Nice. All right, let me post this in the chat. Link to form for tonight's 10-pack giveaway. All right, good luck, everybody. Oh, I think in there, I think I forgot to correct something. Hold on. Let me unpin that real quick. Don't use that version. I realized there was a mistake in here that I keep meaning to correct, and I don't think I corrected. I think it's for home runs. Let's see. Oh, no, maybe it's right here. Okay, well, first of all, this should be plural, but that's not the mistake I was looking for. Lead this team in wins. This is a plural. But that's not the one I was thinking of. Let's see. There's one where I say, like, home runs, but then walks or something. So WAR, that's okay. Batting average, that's fine. ERA, that's fine. Home runs, oh, maybe I did correct it. Strikeouts. Okay, I think it's in a different form then. It might be one of the experimental forms. Okay, we were okay. I can repin that. You can use this link still. I can repin it now. Is it still open? Yeah, it's still open. All right. So yeah, you can use this link. Apologies. False alarm. It's repinned. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and set up this game. Now, I did create this as a quick start last night when we did the Force 4 trades. If you want to play these games at home and you want to use the same setup, you can just watch the VOD from last night, and I go through step by step how to set it up. Yeah, so let's go to the base game. We'll exit out of here. Just go to the OOTP start screen. The OOTP start screen is the one that it shows up when you open up the game, and it lets you choose. You'll recognize it. It's the one where you choose whether you want to go into the perfect team side or what people call the base game side over here on the left. Now, we're going to start a new game. Because it's in 2024, though, we can use the same setup we used for Creator Roster and the one from last night for Force 4 trades in 2024. It's the same setup. Injuries are off, player development stuff. Basically, anything that would change the teams in the league over the course of the season is turned off. So this will be, hold on. What did I name it last night? Oh, yeah, this is Shopping Spree. So Shopping Spree, I'm the one playing Franchise Time Machine. It's the test version 1. And we're going to use the game night quick start. Game night 2024 quick start. Now remember to save the quick start before taking over a team. So it's it's team agnostic right now. We're not assigned to any team. It's a nice clean start. But now that we're starting this, we can take over the White Sox because we know that's who we're going to be playing. And we do need to be in commissioner mode, and I would recommend being cannot be fired. Especially when you're working with a turnaround team. You don't want to lose control of your team partway through the sim. And we are going to be commissioner because we're going to be forcing a lot of stuff to happen here. Okay. So I'll just walk you through some of the settings just to show you what we've done. But scouting is off, default is off, so coaching is off. The big thing here, though, is development has been disabled. And things like personality and morale, injuries are off, suspensions are off. Anything that would like potentially change the nature of a team over the course of the season, we've turned off. Now, there are a few things that don't get saved in the quick start that I do want to update. It's our mailbox settings and our sim exiting settings. We basically want to uncheck all these boxes here. Now, there's a pretty nice autoplay, do not disturb option, but it gives a little too much control to the AI to do things that I don't want it to do. So we're going to do our own de facto do not disturb here. Okay, with that, we're done. The first thing, let's save this. Let's take a look at what we have. I've looked at this team on Baseball Reference, but it's usually pretty different when you see their ratings. Okay, you don't have a lot of stuff on the team here. Our starting rotation, besides Crochet with 75 stuff, you don't have much stuff. Crochet, unfortunately, has a ton of stuff, but his PBAP is quite low, 35. But at least he has good control. Cannon and Fetty also decent control. But Cannon in particular having sub, 45 stuff might be passable. 40, you start to get kind of problematic. At least the home run suppression is not terrible, and the PBAP and control are average. And I say average is a good thing. When you're talking about a 41-win team, average is an asset. A lot of the problem is you have these bullpen pieces like Clevenger, 40 stuff, 35 home run suppression, 20 PBAP, 35 control. Right. And it's kind of a shame, too, because this is a guy who has had productive seasons. As a starter in Cleveland, double-digit wins versus single-digit losses. That's always a pretty good starting pitcher. But, has been a 500 pitcher since then. And frankly, 24 a 500 pitcher would have been great, but he was 0-3 with a 6.75 ERA and a 1.94 WHIP. And at age 34, I think you have to wonder if maybe he's done at this point. Right, so you have a piece like that. Brian Shaw, another one with lots of orange and yellow in his profile. This is why Force 4 trades was not going to work with this team. This just has too many needs. And we're probably not going to take bullpen pieces, but what we probably will do is upgrade the rotation, and some of these rotation pitchers can move into the bullpen, and then we can bump out some of these, lower end relievers. Kopech could be a decent bullpen piece with 75 stuff, 80 PBAP. The control's a little problematic. Did you do that in OOTP26, Smiley Face Jane? I couldn't even win the World Series with the Mets with Force 4 trades, so I didn't feel optimistic about this team. And then let's look at the lineups. We'll look at their batting ratings. So, not a lot of blue or teal jumping out. You got 80I, which between contact power and I, that's the place that it's least impactful. Oh, that's awesome, Smiley Face Jane. Well, leave it to Smiley Face Jane to make it to the World Series with a 41-win White Sox team, where I couldn't even win the World Series with the Mets, playing the same Force 4 trades games. Like DeYoung is a decent shortstop, I guess, with a 65 power. We did notice last night, we were talking about this too. I don't think this is just because it's the White Sox. The defensive ratings seem a little harsher in 26. But I don't think they play that much worse. I think their ratings end up displaying a little worse. I mean, we can test that, but we're in commissioner mode, so we can go in and check his editor. I mean, these are not bad infielder ratings, and I mean, I guess 94 would translate into a 50 being league average, but I would have thought these ratings would have, and 200 experience would have led to a little higher rating. Although the range at 107 is a tad low. I mean, if you do 127 here, yeah, then he gets up to 108, and then he displays as he's still a 50. That's interesting. All right, let's turn that back to 107. But anyway, yeah. I don't know if they just changed the thresholds for the 20 to 80 scale on defense, but they're just reading a little bit lower than I'm used to. And again, we have to remember this is a 41-win team too, so they probably are pretty weak on defense. They're weak everywhere. That's how you get to 41 wins, by not being great. This also could be an interesting team to play. Also, Danny Mendick, a member of the Team NSFW roster. But this team could be interesting to play peak performers with too. I just don't know if it's enough players, right? Because you could get a peak Clevenger. Well, I guess that's not a huge help. But some of these batters have had better seasons. Benintendi probably had a much better season than the 229 he had. Let's see. He had 229 in 2022 across two teams. He had 304. He had 290 with the Red Sox. So yeah, and with 16 bombs, like that's a much better season we could have pulled. I want to say Moncada had a better season too. Yeah, he had a 315, 25 home run season. Although, yeah, I mean, 275 isn't terrible, but it's a 45 plate appearance season, so we probably want to replace that. Yeah, it seems like some of these players probably had better seasons. Oh yeah, 2023. Robert hit 38 home runs and hit 264. He's down to 14 and 224 in 2024. So yeah, a lot of these players, I think this might be a fun candidate for peak performers. Okay, so basically we have needs everywhere. So I think it's one of those cases where we're going to take the best talent available. Now, I use the BREF free agency list for this. And I'll show you. I was just looking at it earlier. Let me pull it up. Okay, so Baseball Reference has a list. Now, for the 2024 season, you're looking for the 2023 to 2024 free agency class. And the way you can make sure you're in the right spot is this is the signing date. And so most of them are signing in the off season before the 24 season. So you know this is the 23 to 24 off season class. Now, they don't have, you can't sort by war, but you can sort by war 3, which is the war from the last 3 years. That's usually a pretty good starting point. Now, what it does, though, is overweights older players, right? If there's a younger player, like 7.9 for Justin Turner, that's great, but do you want his 40-year-old season, or do you want maybe a younger player who maybe didn't have quite the war 3, but is on their way to being having a more productive season? But with Ohtani at 29 years old with a 28.5 war 3, he's definitely worth taking. Chapman also, even though he's 31, he goes on to have a great 24 season. So Chapman in 2024, 7.1 WAR, almost a career high. He had 7.4 and 7.3 in 18 and 19. 27 home runs, 247 average, 790 OPS. So he's probably someone we want to look at third base. He even finished 11th in MVP voting, won a Gold Glove. All right, so I think Ohtani is a no-brainer. Kershaw's interesting. What were his actual 24 stats? Yeah, so he had a negative 0.3. So that's what his profile will be based on this. Because we're not importing him. When you import a player, we found out recently from OTP developments, and also through our own experimentation, you're actually getting a 3-year blend. But when you're in the season, it looks like you do get just that season. If you're in 1-year recalc, which we are. So Kershaw's an example of someone, he's, again, it reset the WAR 3. He's 36 going into this free agency class. His WAR 3 is high relative to the pool, but is it going to remain high as he goes into his year 37 season? Right, and so that's why, just a quick click onto the name, like Sonny Gray at 34, what did he actually do in 2024? Right, he went 13-9. The WAR wasn't great, but he gives you innings. He gives you a 1.088 WHIP. His ERA plus isn't great. It's a 109. He's barely above league average, but he would still probably be an upgrade for this team. And this is why for Shopping Spree, I give so many more players, because the top end usually isn't very deep. So Ohtani's good. Ohtani's great. Chapman's good. Beyond that, like you're seeing how we're having to kind of hunt for the players here. So like Giolito headed into his year 30 season, right? He's 29 right now. How was his 2024? And we have the benefit of getting a look at. Oh, did he not pitch last year at all? Wow. I didn't realize that. Huh, okay. The other thing, too, I sometimes will do is I'll sort by WAR 3 and then I'll sort by age. And then you can see the younger players. And then if you see a positive WAR 3 in a younger player, that's sometimes a sign of someone you might want to look into at least. All right, so Rosario's, I know we're probably not going to take him, but he's only 28, but had a 6.5 WAR 3. Bellinger, only 28, had a 4.5 WAR 3. And he had a decently productive 24, I believe. Yeah, 18 home runs, 266 average. What happened here? Why did I end up way down there? That was weird. Yeah, we could sort by team, Bob Davalina. So Cleveland Guardians. I mean, I don't think we're going to take a defensive catcher. No one's really jumping out at me here. The other thing too is you want to think more about maybe the destination team if you want to be strategic, right? If you want to attack the rosters of people in the AL Central, maybe think about like who they end up signing, and then take preemptively take them away. So let's see. So far we've got Ohtani seems like a definite, and Chapman feels like a definite. So Chapman's going to be from the Giants. Ohtani, so technically we'll be signing him from the Angels according to the premise. But by the time we go into the game in 2024, they will be on their destination team. So I have to take them off of that team. Aaron Nola's 24 was pretty good. Now the ERA plus is only 114, but he did go 14-8. Did give a bunch of bombs, but I think he's probably worth considering. Let's check out Woodruff in his 24 season. Oh, that's right. He didn't have a 24 season. So, you know what? It'd be interesting. Let's look to see if they have cards in the game. I say cards. This is a perfect team, but I mean they're not going to have good ratings anyway. I'm just kind of curious as to how the game deals with it. He's a gold for 2025, but this is taking place in 2024. I also want to take a look at who was the other person I looked up that didn't have a card. Was it Sonny? It wasn't Sonny Gray, was it? Oh no, it was Giolito. Sonny Gray actually might be worth looking at, even though the ERA plus is a little low. Teoscar didn't have a great season with the Mariners, or with the Mariners, but I think, did he do better with the Dodgers? Oh, he did. Oh, he did really well. 33 home runs, 272 average, 840 OPS. Okay, so Teoscar is going to be on our definite list with Chapman and Ohtani. So we'll grab him from the Dodgers. Now, with this, there's no limit to how many players you can take from a team. It's not like force 4 trades. Because Ohtani and Teoscar both ended up on the Dodgers, so we can take both of them. Kiermaier, I don't think we need a defensive center fielder, but his 2024, yeah, he hit 197 combined, so we're not going to do Kiermaier. Michael A. Taylor at 33, 34 years old in 2024. Yeah, he at 193. He did have a decent, well, he had a decent power season in 2023. He had a good 20. Wow, that was 2017. That was 8 years ago where he had this season. That's amazing. Wow. I didn't realize it was that long ago. Okay, Justin Turner, I don't think you won his 40-year-old season, but um, Stroman pitched well for the Mets, but I don't think he had a great season. Yes, I'm reminding you you're all old. That's right. You know what made me feel old today was I was reminded that so the Tom Petty album Full Moon Fever came out in 1987, and I was like, that can't be right. That's 37 years ago. That can't be right, can it? And then the crazy thing is, he was 38 when he recorded that album, and I thought he was like 50 when he recorded that album because he just like seemed old to me. So I was like way off on that, and then that album is 30, 37, 38 years old now. Wow. Anyway, older than some people in the chat, maybe, that album. All right, so yeah, Teoscar would be a good addition to the list. Who was I looking at here? Oh, Stroman. So he pitched okay for the Mets. I mean, 10 and 13, but he was, he ate up some innings. He had a 133 ERA plus, a 1145 whip. So he did his part. The Mets just didn't win for him. But his 2024, not good. So we don't need to look at him. Gurriel Jr. was only 30. So how was his 2024? All right, 297, 18 home runs. I think you normally look for a little more pop in left field, but I'll add him to the maybe list. He's definitely a tier below Ohtani, Chapman, Teoscar. And we'd be taking him from, was it the D-backs? Yeah. All right. This is why you get 7 in this game. You can see how quickly kind of the returns drop off. Oh, Giolito was the other one I was going to look up. Who I don't think he threw up any stats for 24, but I want to see if he's in the game. He shouldn't be, but Candelario, I'm not optimistic about this. 225, 20 points. So had a little bit of pop, but not enough. IKF 2024 hit 292 in limited action, 257 at bats. 758 OPS. Did play second, third, and short, so he might be a good utility piece. We know with injuries off and stuff, the game is not going to care that he had a smaller sample size. It's not a tiny sample size. I mean, it's a half season. So I'm going to put him in the same bucket as Aaron Nola as a maybe. And it would be grabbing him from. I wonder if he'd be in the game under Toronto or Pittsburgh. I think he goes opening day roster, but I'm not sure. You would think I'd know that. Every time I think I remember the answer, it's usually the other way around. There are some interesting names here, but I think they're kind of past their prime. Like Brandon Crawford's on here, but this is a year before he retired. So, but let's keep going down the list. Adam Frazier hit 202, so we're not going to look at him. Rosario traded by the Mets in the Lindor trade. Let's see. Yeah, he had a. Oh, look at this. He played for three. He played for three teams in both leagues. He covered both leagues and played for three teams in 2024. Combined 280. So yeah, we don't need to look at him. Perez went 5 and 6 across two teams. Sub 1 ERA plus, almost a 1.5 whip, so that's an easy no. Kike Hernandez. I feel like his best days might be behind him too. Yeah, 229 with 12 home runs. No, Joey Wendell wasn't worth taking. How about B. Craw before he retired? Nope, there's a reason he retired. 169. Alright, let's see. Colton Wong at catcher. Oh, wait, I clicked on Joey Gallo by mistake, but let's look at Joey Gallo anyway. Yeah, 161 average, so we don't need that. The good thing is we'll start to get to know the 2024 free agency class, though, for if we play this again. All right, now let's look at Colton Wong. He's had some. He had this really interesting season where he played the outfield in 16. Oh, wait, did he not play at all in 24? Was he injured? Wow, I didn't even realize that. I did not realize he didn't play in 24. Huh. This is good. I'm learning a lot playing this game tonight. Waka. He did go 13 and 8, had a 125 ERA plus. Okay, yeah, he's worth taking. Like that. We'll snag him from the Royals. So if you include the maybes of Aaron Nola and Kiner Falefa, we're up to 6. Otani, Chapman, Teoscar Hernandez, Waka I feel like are the definites. Aaron Nola and Kiner Falefa are the maybes. And then we've got a few more lesser maybes that we can look at too. Lance Lynn, I'm assuming, did not have a great year since he then retired. 7-4, 108 ERA plus. The 1.338 WHIP is a little problematic. It doesn't matter how well you get to know the free agent class if their ratings are whack in OTP. The thing is, though, they seem to be playing. Well, they are. Although in that Mets sim, they were playing out of their minds. Who was it that stole like 120 bases? How about Reese Hoskins? I can't believe Reese Hoskins is 31 years old already. That's true, Clay Dog. Players do play better on good teams. I mean, everything's going to look better if you're surrounded by people either getting on base or driving you in. Yeah, he had 26 home runs, but he only had 214. Yeah, Chapman's already on the list, Rev Jr. Chapman's on the definite signing list. We're definitely taking Otani, Chapman, Teoscar Hernandez, and Waka. I like that you pulled that number from your Tommy butt. the Aroldis Chapman. Okay, let's take. Where was he? I don't think I've gotten to his name yet. Was he a free agent in 23-24? I don't think I passed him yet. Oh, his WAR 3 would be low? Okay. Well, that's another reason that we might not take him because this team needs so much help. I'm going to lean towards taking starters and then bumping the starters into the pen. Yeah, Ronaldo Lopez is here. Yeah, let's take a look at him. Yeah, 8-5. Did throw 135 and 2/3 innings. Holy cow, 2.08 ERA plus and a 1.106. Yeah, okay. So let's definitely add him. Okay, so our definite list is now up to 5. Otani, Chapman, Matt Chapman, Teoscar Hernandez, Waka, and Ronaldo Lopez. It's up. We're up to the 7 if we include Aaron Nola and Kiner Falefa, but I can't imagine we can't find a better free agent than Kiner Falefa, but let's see. How about Crone? Did he have any kind of season in 04? Oh, he didn't play in 04. All these players that didn't play in 04 that I'm just finding out didn't play in 04. Let's see who else. I mean, I don't think Garver was going to have much here. Well, he did 15 home runs, but he hit 172, so we're not going to mess with that. Now, why did it roll me all the way down there again? That's weird. Okay, Adam Duvall. Could he be interesting? No, he hit 182. Oh, will that let you sort by it unless you're at the top? I guess not. I mean, Elvis Andrews, was his 36-year-old season any good? No, he didn't play in 24. We're starting to get into diminishing returns the further down we list to go. Profar was good last year. That's right. Did you already pass him? Oh, before I go past, how about Ligo? 16-9, 139 ERA plus 1 point. He might be better than Nola. So we'll pick him as a maybe. Man, who would have thought we might raid Kansas City for 2 players? Oh wait, I need to go up here. I don't know. Every once in a while, it leaves me down there at the bottom of the page when I come back. Hunter Renfro. 229. No good. Profar's 4.3 is 1.7. Okay. Mm-hmm. There he is. 280 with 24 home runs. Now that's the left field we like. That lets us not have to think about Gurriel Jr. So I like Profar. He's on Atlanta now, right? Oh, it's right here on the screen. Yes. Yes, he is. I don't have to wonder. It's right here on the screen. What change he made between 23 and 24? Yeah. Yeah, even when he hit for power before, he certainly didn't hit 280. All right, now why are we way down here again? Oh, he was? I didn't realize that. That's funny. That's funny. That was good. All right, let's go back. I think we have a pretty good list here. I mean, almost anyone's going to help this team. I'm just trying to maximize the amount of help we get. I still can't believe Reese Hoskins is 31 years old. I guess he was older when he came up too. It looked like I think he was 24 when he came up. I just didn't realize he's been around for so long. Was Gary Sanchez still productive at all? Because I think catcher's a place we can use some help too. Nope. 220 with 11 home runs. Hoskins is doing pretty good for the Brew Crew this year. That's good to hear. Let's see. Urshela, did he do anything? 265. Oh, that's enough. That's not enough help. We need more help than that. But yeah, Profar's a good example of if you just look at War 3, you might miss out on some folks. All right, we might have our. Actually, Mania pitched well for the Mets. 12-6. Well, the ERA plus is great, 114, but the 1.8084 WHIP is pretty good. I'll put on the maybe list. I think what's going to happen is we have our top 6, and then we'll probably take a pitcher between Lugo, Nola, and Mania. It's hard though, because like it's tough to translate the profile into results, as we saw last night. All right, we'll take one more sweep through, but I think we've got our list. Oh, Jock Peterson. Oh, I missed that. Whoever said that the first time, I apologize. I missed that. I missed that Jock Peterson reference. All right, let's see where we can find Jock Peterson. Part of why I'm still on this view, though, is I want to see how far down the list we're going to find him. And then we might just have to do a search for him, and then... Oh, 1.9 war? I went right past him. Thank you, Smiley Face Jane. $23 bombs, 275 average. What is this 18? Is it intentional walks? Oh, 18 hit by pitches. Led the league. Nice. Can we see his splits? His splits are insane. Grateful Dead balls with him and Pro are both having 18 hit by pitches. That's awesome. Batting splits 2024. .923 OPS versus 749. Well, it's 749, but he only got 42 plate appearances. And he struck out 18 of those. But he did have 462 BABIP VL. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, this is such a poor team. A one-way stud might be the way to go here. Versus, let's take a look. We'll look at Peter. We'll look at. I feel pretty good about the list we have. So here's what we're gonna do: Otani, Chapman, Teoscar Hernandez, Waka, Ronaldo Lopez, and Jerickson Profar are, I think, are our 6 definites. Peterson's, I think, too specialized to be a lock, and I think we look at Peterson, Mania, Lugo, and Nola, especially after we add Waka and Lopez, and let's see what the pitching staff looks like, and then we can decide if we want a bat or an arm. All right, so we're gonna start adding players now. So our first signing, again, it's a retroactive signing, right? Because we're already in March, I believe. So we actually have to do this as a trade, which also means I have to turn trades back on. There you go. We'll enable trading for just this period. And GM manager actions. Where's make a trade? Oh, wait, I just turned trading back on. Do I have to finish the day before it'll let me trade? I'm just worried that other teams are going to make trades. Enable trading. Sometimes if I just click a different team and then click back, the changes will kind of take. Nope. Okay, we're going to have to go a day forward then. Fortunately, we have 5 days till opening day. All right, now let's see if it'll take. Yeah, now it'll let me make a trade. Now, hopefully, let's look at the log and make sure no one else made a trade. Okay, good. No one made a trade. Very good. All right. So first, we're going to go back in time and sign Ohtani. Oh yeah, he's suggesting he has no trade clause. We're just going to turn that clause off. This is one of the many things you can do in the base game if you are in commissioner mode. You can just go into editor and just cancel their no trade clause. Okay, so now what would it take? We have no players. Okay. Well, we're going to give you someone back from our reserve roster. How about half-star player Duke Ellis? You cannot be serious. What could I give you to make this work? Nothing. Who is my best overall rated player right now? Oof, this is... Oh, that's the reserve roster. How about on my active roster? Crochet. I mean, what if I threw Crochet in? I'm not going to, but what if I did? Make it work now? Yeah, we don't have enough assets to ever make these work. But we're just going to force this trade. Okay, so we signed Ohtani in the offseason. That's how we're going to play. Say it happened. And then let's go to the Giants. And we'll sign Matt Chapman. How does he look? Good power, decent eye. Only plays third base, but this will still be better than anyone we've got. So is there anything that would make this work? No, not even if we threw in Crochet. Up your game and maybe we can do a deal. What do you mean by up your game? Oh, throw in Ohtani. Yes, sure. We just throw in Ohtani. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's see. Do we have a reserve? Such a fair deal, says Rev Jr. Someone who plays third base. I mean, come on. I'm being nice. I'm sending you back an infielder at least. This Braden Shoemake, 41 in Perfect Team. I use this card a lot in caps. Zach Remillard. We'll send you a Zach Remillard. I'm wasting your time. Oh, now Zach Remillard's so bad, he won't even take Ohtani and Remillard. When I hit make this deal work before, he said he'd take Ohtani. But now with Remillard on the table, he won't even take Ohtani now. That's funny. That's funny. All right. Okay, so we signed Chapman. Let's go back to the Dodgers, and we'll sign Teoscar. Okay, they'd take Ohtani, at least, for him. I'm running out of reserve roster players to send you back. We can send you back Rafael Ortega, who's a 1-star. You'd still take Ohtani. At least Ortega's not so bad that even Ohtani comes off the table. Okay, so let's see. That's okay. We've got Otani, Chapman, Teoscar. We're gonna take Waka and Lopez to shore up the pitching staff. Now let's take a look at Waka first. He looked good on BREF, but now Lugo was also on our list. We could also consider Lugo. Now Lugo's rated a little higher. 45, 55, 55, 45, 50, 50. Got a lot of pitches, 3 minus pitches, 3 average or plus pitches. Good stamina, 70 stamina. Good BABIP. Let's do the same for Waka, and then we'll do a compare. Almost all minus or average pitches. That's not great. Slightly lower stamina. Doesn't have a big spike like Lugo did in PBABIP. All right, this might cause Lugo to jump up and take Waka's place. Yeah, there's no scenario in which Waka's not better. Okay, so we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to take Lugo instead. And not just because he's a Mets legend, note here. Braden Shoemake Braves legend, and Seth Lugo Mets legend. He actually might be a Mets legend. He was pretty good for a while. It's always funnier when I say to myself who played like 10 games with the Mets. All right, let's do Lugo. Oh, no trade clause from you, Seth. Now there are other ways I can force him onto the team. I like just using the trade mechanism though, so we're just gonna do the no trade. I could just go over here, and I can just change his team designation, and I could just add him to our team. I could just pick the White Sox here, but I like doing it through the trade mechanism. So we're just gonna undo his no trade clause. Only Otani would do it for this guy. Okay, well, let's see. I mean, for reserve players, they actually have nothing below a 2-star reserve pitcher. Oh no, there's a couple 1.5 stars. Nick Nastrini with the 25 control looks pretty sweet. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a nice guy to send over. I like this. All right, starter for starter. Yeah, you'd still do it if we threw an Otani. Okay. Again, we're in commission mode, so you'd see our budget deficit is now 33 million. Doesn't matter because we're in. Oh, Spy Face Jane. Yeah, except I can't do the who would you take if I don't undo the no trade clause. But I believe Smiley Face Jane is right. I can still use the forces trade button if they have a no trade clause. I just enjoy watching what they would take or not take on that screen. So that's just me being silly. All right, let's go to Atlanta. Now the downside of shopping spree is you're limited to who's available on the free agent market. So it means it's harder to be strategic and like trying to nerf your opponents. So here's look at the star ratings on this team. I mean, geez. Our best I think is 2.5 stars. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 above 3 stars. But the one in play right now is Ronaldo Lopez, 3.5 stars. Yeah, everything's above average. 2 plus pitches and 2 elite pitches. This is great. I'm really psyched to be getting him. Actually, I should say getting him back, right? Because he started with the White Sox, so we're bringing him back. So yeah, let's definitely do this deal. Oh, look at that! Not even Otani would work for another. Oh, probably because their budget is so negative. So how about Kai Bush with the 20p BABIP? Realized stats in 2024: 0-3, 5.60 ERA, 2.04 WHIP. Sounds like the perfect person for this job. Yeah, no one would make this work. Okay. The last on the, quote, definite, unquote list is Jurickson Profar. 3.5 stars. I don't really care about gap power, contact, power, eye. Pretty good. Be a defensive liability in left field, but I mean, at least we get a bat out of it for this roster. So we'll go Profar. I guess he's not Swiss Army knifing it anymore. He's just standing out in left field for San Diego. All right, we're out of players to send off the reserve. We do have Dominic Fletcher. He has 50 contact, so, be happy, Padres. I'm sending you a 50 contact player, even though you want Shohei. Oh, or can you go Oscar Coles, 35 contact, 40. Yeah, let's go 35, 40, 45. Oscar Coles. There we go. All right, we've got one more move we can make, one more free agent we can sign. Peterson and Kiner Falefa will be the batters. There's Jock Peterson. He is a 4-star. He's a 40 in center field, which is not great. The 70 power is pretty awesome. I mean, his VL split isn't even that terrible. I mean, I wouldn't. On a better team, I wouldn't start that, but for the White Sox, I would still start him VL. Get the 60 power and 80 eye at least. I think it's Peterson. I mean, let's look at Kiner Falefa, but I think for arms, we've already added Waka and Lopez, and we know we had a couple of decent arms already. So what his secret sauce gave him also took away all his other fielding. Okay, so Peterson's pretty tempting here as the 7th free agent. But let's look at Kiner Falefa. Was he not on Pittsburgh that year? Let me go back to BRAF and check. Also, as a fan of Kiner's Corner and Ralph Kiner Falefa. Oh, yeah, you know what? Thank you, Red Jr. I think he started on Toronto. Thank you for that reminder. That was what it was. There he is. Yeah, 2.5 star. Yeah, the position flexibility, it's flexible, but it's not good. So I feel better. Let's just check out Manaya and Lugo. Oh, we already checked out Lugo. We replaced Waka with Lugo, so we're good there. Let me just check out, just because he is a Met. He did have a good season. Let's see. Tons of BABIP, not much else. So yeah, I think Peterson's going to be the way we're going to go. Oh, Aaron Nola was the other one on the maybe list. Yeah, very flat to negative profile. So yeah, I think Peterson we're good with. All right, so let's trade for him. I mean, we're technically like per the game, we're signing him in the off season, but do we have any more outfielders? Oh yeah. How about no, let's just send him back a really bad pitcher. Oh no, how about a catcher? Who's the lowest overall we have? Send back. All right, you know what? You're gonna get a 50 contact guy. It's pretty good. I think that's actually more. Is that more contact than Jock Peterson has? No, it's not. It's almost. It's almost more contact. They wouldn't even take Otani for Peterson. They have the money. Oh no, they don't have the money because Otani's contract isn't deferred in the game. Okay. So you see, we're $147 million over budget, but we're in commissioner mode, so that's okay. Now, the really nice thing, and I mentioned this last night too, about OOTP26, and I think it was like this in 25 too, is, oh, you know what? It put him on a reserve, but it'll let you temporarily go over 26 players, which is kind of nice. So the first thing let's do is let's put them all on our short list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, let's just. I was gonna say let's just do this. And put them on the short list because one of the good things about that, first of all, it bolds them so you can always find them. But now you can also go to your short list and see everyone at once. So that's good. Now we have a short list. The other thing that's nice though is you can, I believe, I know it does it if you import them. I think you can even now, you can temporarily go over 26 players. Yeah. And you just have to get it back down. Before, I don't think it used to let you do that. Like in OTP 20, I think it was like a hard limit, which this is really nice. Because now we can go in and see, like, okay, who do you want to replace? First, let's see what the AI wants to do. Okay, it does put Lugo and Lopez in the rotation at the top. And it bumped Soroka and who else was in the rotation before that? I don't think it was Clevenger. She was in the pen. Was it Flexen? Anyway, these two with Crochet and Fetty, that's not a bad top four. And Cannon's not awful. 2016 Pirates legend Chad Kuhl is on this team. Let's see. 2016, 5-4. A 94 ERA plus. Has never had a year over 100 ERA plus. But he has had a couple of positive WAR seasons. That's not nothing. It's not nothing at all. All right, now the good thing is by bumping some starters into the pen. Now with Fetty and Crochet already on this team, that's why I didn't think we needed a third starter. This lets us now get rid of, I think Brian Shaw makes sense with his terrible profile. And, you know, it's kind of sad because he was productive earlier in his career, but Clevenger, I think, is gone. Tony BABIP is wild. Yeah, Cool still has that too. But Clevenger has that with 35 home run reception and 35 control. So it's a little easier to cut him. Send them to the reserves. Okay, so we're back to 13 pitchers. And then for the lineups, let's see what the A wants to do here. First, let's make sure everyone in all caps is starting. They are. And let's check out our position coverage so that we don't send. Oh, okay. So we only have one first baseman. Are you serious? Andrew Vaughn is the only first baseman on the roster. That's like the easiest position to fill in. Chapman didn't play any first base. Wow. Okay. All right, that's interesting. We're also a little light at second base. So we probably have to keep one of either Sosa or NSFW team member Danny Mendick. Third base are okay. Shortstop, we cannot cut Nicky Lopez or DeYoung. And then, okay, center field, we do have some coverage there, so we're good. Tommy Pham coming in with a 20 center field defense. Nice. Okay, so first of all, do we have any problems with this? Who the AI wants to start and not start? We do need a second catcher, so I think Maldonado's hands off. We got to keep him. Moncada, I believe, is not on the depth chart anywhere important. Oh, he's backing up at first. He's our backup first baseman. Okay. He hit 275, but his ratings were low because it was in such a small sample size. I think he got hit with the sample size hammer. Let's see. Okay, we have to keep one of either Mendick or Sosa, but we don't have to keep both. I'd rather have 55 contact and 30i than 45 contact and 40i from Mendick. We lose to stealing from Mendick, but I don't think that's that important, especially coming off the bench. Mendick second and third. Sosa is second and third. Okay, so let's cut Mendick. He's gone. Send him to the reserve. We still have a lot of people to cut, though. Okay. Let's see. Probably from the outfield, most of the rest. All right, Pilar. Pilar can actually back up in center. And he's got 50 contact. I think, well, Pham can actually hit. It's like a mess of mediocre players here. I need to make... How many more cuts do I need to make? Jeez. I added 2 pitchers and I took away 2 pitchers, but... We have to make 4 more cuts on the... That's going to be tough. Okay. I guess maybe it's easier if we say, who do you want to keep? Pilar or Robert. I feel like one of them has to stay, so we have a backup center fielder. Especially because Peterson's starting in center. I mean, we got to get his bat in there. Oh, man. Really? I mean, Robert did only hit 224. Pilar. OOTP26 without the power. I think Pilar is the cut. So that's another cut. And then, I mean, it's hard to keep Pham with the 20 defense and center, but he is the best original bat probably. Oh, Robert's center field only too. That's a bummer. That really cuts his value. All right, Benintendi's left field only, and this is a 229 batting profile. He does have 20 bombs, but okay, Benintendi's the next cut. Okay, we have to make 2 more cuts. So Moncada's a backup first baseman, but he doesn't have He doesn't have first base ability. So I guess the AI just said, okay, well, he's who I'm going to put there. But the AI could do that with any of these players then, theoretically. Well, Moncada probably has infield ratings, right? That's why. Whereas Grossman probably does not. Yeah, he has no infield ratings. So. And Grossman really only has I. So I think he's the next cut. Alright, we have to lose one more player here. Alright, with all these guys gone, let's look at the new depth chart. Oh, shoot, it has Nicky Lopez starting. And then Sosa backing out. So, Lopez and Sosa we both have to keep. You know what? I didn't look for a middle infielder. I didn't even think about that. I was just looking for bats. So if anyone wants to take on this challenge next, like that's something you can do to make this team better. Better than I did. Alright, let's see who else. It's either Moncada or Robert or Pham. I can't believe Jock Peterson's our starting center fielder. That's so crazy. Man. Oh, that's interesting. AI has him leading off versus lefties instead of pushing him down the order. It moved him to the top of the order. Well, we'll take a look at that, but that just might be an indication of how bad this roster was. But if his power's nerfed, maybe he has I or something versus lefties that that the AI put on there. Okay, one more cut. I mean, Moncada's the bat I would like to cut. All right, let's try an experiment here. If we send him to the reserve, and then we ask the AI for a lineup of the depth chart, who does it put it back up first baseman? All right, it's gonna force Lennon Sosa. Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. All right, now let's see if we want to move anything around. It's got Teoscar leading off versus righties. You know, let's see if we change our strategy first so that we're not doing a lot of stealing. Does it then still care to put Teoscar at leadoff? Maybe if we clear the lineup first. Okay, I didn't know if it was doing that because it was wanting to steal And Teoscar is one of the less terrible base stealers. But it feels like a waste to have his power bat up at the front of the lineup there. I don't necessarily want a ton of base stealing anyway. If we want it, Nicky Lopez has decent contact and eye, but he's not a base stealer. Chapman could be up there with average contact, above average eye. And then we get Teoscar more in the heart of the lineup. I actually don't mind that. Profar's hitting second. Let's see. Yeah, that's fine. Corey Lee batting last. That's where he should be. Why do we have an eighth hitting first baseman? Chapman, why can't you play first base, man? Is really Vaughn the best we can do at first? I mean, he's got first base rating. I guess that's why. All right. I mean, Nicky Lopez is batting ahead of him. All right, let's do this, though. I like Shohei maybe batting second. Hernandez batting third. Profar. No. Let's keep Profar batting second. I actually like that in hindsight. And then is it DeYoung? I guess so. DeYoung, Lopez, Vaughn, Lee. Clay Dog says, I just realized that I couldn't forget this whole 3-year import average ratings thing. If I played just one of the historical games. Yeah, that's true though. But for most of that's right. Yeah, because some of the historic games we do import players. I mean, it seems obvious, but if you're not looking for it, I don't know. Because like I imported that 72 Carlton so many times, and I just thought he wasn't simming well. Yeah, well, Reb Jr., I don't want anyone. Well, the Jock Peterson is the AI put that there. I haven't looked at VL yet. But leading off VR, I just wanted someone who's going to get on base. And we don't have a lot of great contact eye combinations here. I just don't want to start off with an out. Like Teoscar, I don't want his 60 home runs at the top of the order. 60 home run rating, I mean. Assuming the historical rate. So my understanding is historical imports are 3-year averages. The season ratings are the 1-year recalc. It's the imports that it's doing the 3-year average on. And I think that's probably right because when I went into the 1996 season to look at Brady Anderson, he did have the right power rating. Even though Smite Face Jane, even if I set what to be based off the imported season. The only thing you can select to be off the imported season or the 3-year average um, is the fielding ratings or the pitcher stamina. Right now, there's currently no option to select batting ratings off of 1 or 3-year ratings. You can only do that for fielding ratings or pitcher stamina. Oh yeah, in fact, we can even look at that, right? We can go to. Oh wait, you know what? While we're done, since we're done pulling in players, before I forget, I want to turn trading back off. But yeah, if you go to sign a free agent, import players, right? You only get to choose periods for fielding ratings or pitcher stamina. You don't get to choose it for batting. Yeah, there is, and that's set to 1 season, and we still got 3 season imports. Matt was very specific in the forum that it is importing 3 year averages, regardless of your if it's 1 year. So that's what we've asked to have changed, that we get an option like that for batting and pitching ratings too, not just stamina and fielding. I mean, frankly, I'd be fine with 1 year being the default, but there's some people on the forum who say 3 years better. So, all right. Even though 90% of our survey respondents said they want 1 year. All right. But for the 10% and for the people in the forum, I think having the choice is fine. But at least we'll have the choice of 1 year now. So what Claydog and Slyface Jane and I are talking about is we recently discovered that when you import a player like the 1996 Brady Anderson, it actually imports a 3 year blend, not just the 96 season. Yeah, I was surprised too, especially that the default either isn't one or doesn't match your default for the sim. Right? We always set a 1 year recalc default. I would have thought the import would at least match that, but it doesn't. But at least now we know. And it sounds like OOTP is going to change that for us, which is great. It sounds like they'll make it an option so that the people in the forum and the 10% of respondents who want not the year they asked for can also have that option to not get the year they asked for. So yeah, so hopefully everyone will be happy. Although I would guess some of the people in the forum will never be happy. This is an open forum, so you can go look. There's no secrets there. It's the OTP developments forum. So we're not saying anything in here that isn't public knowledge. So it is public knowledge that it imports a 3 year blend. It is public knowledge that Matt has said that that's something that they're looking at now. So everything is above board. But yeah, so I think also when I asked people who said like, okay, you also you're gonna report me for my OTV slander. I think most of the people who took that survey thought they were getting a 1 year 1 year profile too, right? So if you ask for the 96 Brady Anderson, they not only do they want just the 96 season, they thought that's where they were getting. I think most of us thought that because if this is asking what period you want, then we assume that the default would be the specific year you asked for. And so it was helpful to find out that that's not the case. But hopefully we'll have those new options soon. Anyway, let's go back to. But when you're in a season, so I turned trading off. That's what we came in here for. I do think it's correct. Okay, so sorry, what we're doing? Oh yeah. So let's now look at VL. This is what the AI set. So that's the weak side platoon for Peterson. So this is what I think the AI is probably thinking. He's got 80 and he's above average base stealing. The AI does seem to want to put base stealers in the leadoff spot. This is despite the fact that I switched it to sabermetric, which is a not stealing strategy. I mean, frankly, of these profiles, I like Profar the best, probably as my leadoff guy with 80 contact, 70 eye. And if the AI does want stealing, he's still a 65. So I'd rather put Profar up there. And then maybe, who do I put second? Chapman might be decent there. Teoscar might be good there. We could get Otani a few more at-bats if we move him up to 2. What does Teoscar look like if we put him up there? I actually don't mind. Well, I'll say maybe put Chapman up there in the 2 spot. And then Shohei. And then the problem is, like, we don't have a lot of batters to put ahead of Peterson. Even though his VL is not great, it's still better than most of this lineup. Actually, what if we bring Robert in? That's another decent right-handed bat. There's nowhere to put him though. Otani's in right, Teoscar's in left, Peterson's in center, Profar's DHing. Profar can only play left. Teoscar can only play left or right. Yeah, there's nowhere we can bump anybody. I wonder, can we teach Otani first base? That would be great, actually. If Otani can learn first base. Does he have infield ratings? He does not. He does not. That's a bummer. Does Profar have infield ratings from the days when he used to play all over? No, he does not. He does not. Okay, so because first lefties, it would be actually great if we could get Robert or Pham into the lineup, but yeah, it's not gonna happen. And then DeYoung versus lefties, not terrible. Vaughn versus lefties, not terrible. Not good, but not terrible. Okay, let's see what happens with the backups if we do that. That's not terrible. What's this set to? I can't see that. Let's go to the every 10th game. Okay, we might as well just have that as if tired. There's not much difference between. Well, I guess Maldonado's a bit of an offensive downgrade, but he's a surprisingly a defensive upgrade at 45. And then versus lefties. You know, I don't think with the players we put in, it would have been worth it to go after a middle infielder or a catcher. But man, this team needs a middle infielder or a catcher. Okay, this is where maybe this team actually, even though it's one less player, maybe this team is better suited for Major League Farm Team, where we just turn like the Dodgers into our spare parts team and just raid them for people. Oh, this is where I'd have to look at some rosters and see what the best fit would be for a Major League Farm team. But for this, I'm okay with this for now. Let's just do this. So we can get the sim started. And then we have to set bullpen roles. We didn't do that. Let's see. Where did it put our former starters? Flexen is in middle relief. I think Soroka was the other one. He's in long relief and mop up. All right. Is there anyone who's like grossly misplaced? I don't think so. It's just there's no one good here. So, I mean, Tanner Banks isn't terrible, and at least he's used more often. Yeah, I don't see anyone like really out of place. Tim Hill is a little surprised he's specialist only, but his stuff and PBAP are pretty bad. Let's just add him as a secondary role middle relief. Now, from a fatigue perspective, I worry that we only have one closer, so I'm going to make someone else a secondary role closer. Problem is, we don't really have a lot of choices here. Anderson and Banks. And actually, I'll make him Hill set up. So we have backup secondary role setups in Brebbia and Hill. And actually, Soroka will do that. Okay. All right. So this is what we'll do for pitching staffs. Normally, I get a lot more as you go closer to stoppers, couple of setups, and then middle relief. But we're not going to do that here. Probably because I don't have enough pitchers that are differentiated enough to move them around because they're all just kind of like equally subpar. Okay, I think we're good. This is what we're going to go with, and we're just going to go sabermetric. And let's get ready to fire up the season. So this is a good spot, I think, for an ad roll. Let's see. Yeah, it'll keep us from getting interrupted during the sim. And consider this your 3-minute warning to go ahead and do your pack giveaway form if you haven't already. All right, I will see y'all in a few minutes. All right. I think the ads rolled, and I think they're over. I think it's been about 3 minutes. So if anyone's about to hit submit, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to close this form. We've had a huge turnout tonight in terms of pack giveaway participation. So. All right. So I'm not hearing any objections, so I am going to close the form. All right. So 14 participants. That might be a new record for the late night stream. We do get more during the Friday afternoon stream. But thank you for all being here. Thank you to Ezra Denny for the raid that brought most of you in. Yeah, pretty good competition tonight. Let's see how it goes. All right. Will this team finish with a 500 better regular season record? A slight majority think so. Will this team make it to the playoffs? It is 50-50. Connie 2, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, you can't see the form? Rev Jr. so demanding. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know, Rev Jr. Yeah, so will this... I'll go back up. Will this team have a 500 or better regular season record? But most of the 500 better are folks pretty confident that this team will make the playoffs. 50% saying this is a playoff team. But not a lot of confidence beyond that. I think the ceiling for this team, most of you think, is the playoffs. But whoever thinks this team's making it to the World Series does seem to think they're going to win it all if they make it there. No one thinks we're going to have a Cy Young Award winner on this team. Which is fair. Crochet and Lopez were the two best. Lopez and Lugo were the two best pitchers we could find to add. Yeah, there will be less need for the tiebreak if they make it to the World Series for sure. MVP, there's a little more faith in the MVP. About 20% of you think we'll have an MVP on this team. Now, I don't know if that number actually might be low considering Ohtani's on this team. Oh, but we're now in the AL, so it's going to be an Ohtani Judge contest probably. So that could be, yeah. And without runners to drive in or without the supporting cast around him, Ohtani might be harder for Ohtani to get the MVP. So that I'm still a little surprised it's that low considering Ohtani's on this team, but all right. So with the form closed and the guesses in, first of all, let's save this. And I'm going to save this as a quick start as well. This will be Shopping Spree, Franchise Time Machine, Test version 1. Okay. This is just basically using this as a backup, not so much as a quick start, but it's an easier to access quick start, or easier to access backup. Yes, the SSFTM is where we set sail to do these experiments in international waters. KK Football, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. And again, the reminder is any of you can play these games on stream. It's just a channel point redemption. And the channel point redemptions don't cost any money. You're not giving any money to Bezos. I'm not getting any money. It's just you get channel points for hanging out in our stream. And if you hang out enough, you can redeem them to play one of our games in stream. All right, so that's saved, the quick start save. So now we can go to opening day and see the preseason predictions. Now this is early season start, March 20th, because of the Tokyo series. I know that made it harder for the Nolan Network to do a $0 challenge. If you like this kind of stuff in the base game, you should definitely check out the Nolan Network. One of my favorite things that he does is this $0 challenge where he picks a team and he converts it to a team with no salary by basically making trades and getting the other team to eat the salary of the players he's trading for, and then trying to make the playoffs with a zero salary team. It's pretty awesome. And then he also has a 1979 Mariners save. And I don't know if he has VODs up, Clay Dog, but if he does, you should definitely check them out. They're really fun. It's just fun watching him wheel and deal, trying to get the salaries off his books and seeing like what he can get with zero salaries. And I guess the way to do it is, the way he seems to do it is like he tries to start with a good team with lots of assets on the roster that he can then convert into free assets. So it's a pretty interesting concept and stream. All right, so we go to MLB reports and info, preseason predictions. All right, it has us tied for the division lead with the Tigers at 89 and 73. So over 500 is the prediction. It has us in a playoff position. Actually leading the division in runs scored. We did bring in more batters than pitchers, so that makes sense. Our ERA is still projected to be second worst. But we're actually only predicted to give up the second most runs, even though our ERA is going to be worse. So what does that mean? Our fielding has improved? All right, let's screenshot this and then. Well, no, the ERA is the second worst. 5.0. Oh no, you're right. You're right. It's the middle. The Twins are worse. Yeah, you're right. The ERA is in the middle. Okay, so it's not that big of a disconnect then. ERA is in the middle. Runs against is second best, which is only one away from middle. So yeah, Red Jr. is right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. And then in terms of top hitters, it likes Judge ahead of Ohtani, but we got Ohtani on here. No one else in the top 10. And for pitchers, we got Lopez and Lugo. Our two imports at least made the top 10. So that's good. Yeah, but you know the predictions might not be that good because it has the Mets winning the NL East. My Mets, who even with force 4 trades cannot win a World Series. Yeah, the AL Central is now suddenly interesting with a much improved White Sox team. Yeah, the AI, especially Bob Dudley, likes stolen bases when it comes to postseason awards, so it does give him a chance for sure. All right, well, let's watch the first game of this team, and then we'll sim the season. We've got to make it through these Japan Series games, though. So the Dodgers win 4-3. despite losing Teoscar and Ohtani. And in game 2, the Dodgers win again 10-2 without two of their bats. So Dodgers start 2-0 despite getting raided by our team for a couple of players, including their MVP. All right, we'll sim to our first game. Let's see, is it opening day? It is opening day. We are playing on opening day. So we need to go this to today's date. Okay, here we are. Today's date. Scooble versus Crochet. But we've added some, let's see, we added Teoscar and Chapman. I know Ohtani, frankly, lefty. I'm not worried in Profar, so this should help us against the lefty Scooble. Let's see if it's enough. All right, we'll hide scores and we'll quick play the game. All right, let's see. Oh, scoreless first. Top of the first. Bottom of the first for the White Sox. 2 outs for Teoscar Hernandez. 1-0 count with a runner on first base. Lined into left center field. That'll be extra bases. Should be enough to score the runner. And it is. 1-0 lead. Detroit up now top of the fourth. Colt Keith with a 2-2 count. Fly ball to deep left center field. That's going to be gone. Right between the jackfruit and the lemon soda signs. Bottom of the fourth. Andrew Vaughn, an original White Sox with Paul DeYoung on first. Ground ball to the shortstop. Through the infield into center field for a base hit. And the base runner keeps going and is safe. By the way, I don't think it's that I'm dropping frames on stream. I think it's that my game is, the video is very choppy on the game itself. All right, second to third, 2 outs, 2-2 count for Nicky Lopez, also an original White Sox. Don't love the lefty-lefty matchup here. Grounds it to second. And Schoolboy gets out of that jam. Top of the seventh. It's a bullpen game now. Tanner Banks is in the game. Line drive into the right field corner. That'll be extra bases. Throw in by Ohtani, not in time. 1 out double. Two one count with 1 out. Line drive into center field. Center field is under it. Makes the play. That's Jock Peterson showing the range. All right. 2 outs now for Carson Kelly with a runner still on second. Ground ball to third. Fielded cleanly over to first for the out. Bottom of the seventh. Andrew Vaughn leading it off. 3-1 count. Line drive into right field, and it's gone. Top of the eighth, Detroit up, down by 1. Torkelson at bat. Goes down on strikes. 2 outs for Jake Rogers. 0-1 count. Line drive into left, and the left fielder's under it for the out. All right, bottom of the eighth. White Sox up again. Matt Chapman leading it off with a 2-2 count. Line drive into the right field corner. That will be extra bases as Chapman rounds first. And he's in with a double. Leadoff double. Oh, but they got that jam. It's top of the ninth now. Colt Keith up with a full count, leading off the inning. Goes down looking. Kopech with the strikeout. Kerry Carpenter. Draws the walk. Brings up Riley Green. Pops it up. The catcher's under it. 2 outs, full count to Parker Meadows. Walk. Come on, Kopech. Full count again. Ground ball through the infield for the base hit. That'll tie the game at least. Yep, tie the game at 2. Blown save for Kopech. Carson Kelly. Ground ball to second. Gets the out, but not before the Tigers tie the game. All right, bottom of the 9th. DeYoung leading it off. 1-1 count. Ground ball past the first baseman for a base hit. Leadoff single. That brings up Andrew Vaughn. Line drive to second. This is the long stretch of original White Sox we have. That's kind of brutal. Nicky Lopez. Oh! Nicky Lopez shuts me up with a single to right field. First to third. No, the trail runner advances too. Nicky Lopez is on second. No double play available for Corey Lee. So Profar at least will get to bat. 1 out, 1-1 count. Oh my goodness. Original White Sox Corey Lee walks it off. Amazing. They heard me talking smack about them. They decided to show me up. Corey Lee, amazing. All right, Crochet. They get a no decision, but the player of the game, 6 1/3, 4 hits, no walks, 11 strikeouts. Wow. Yeah, the walk-off. Nice. All right. Let's go to the stand-up standings view. Uh, 3-0 to start the season. What happened in those other games? 10-3 win and a 1-0 win in extras. That means the bullpen, which is all White Sox, came through. This means original White Sox bullpen. How many innings did they throw? Oh, Kopech only... Wait, am I looking at the right game? Yeah, Kopech just had to go 1 2/3. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. Wow. Kopech's 2-0 after 3 games. That's unbelievable. He's on a pace for 100 wins. All right. All right, let's do the month. All right, here come the losses. They are getting some losses. Oh, there's a little bit of a win streak there. All right, Bather month. Center fielder, Jock Peterson. Yes, Peterson has 12 home runs to tied for the league lead with Santander. 7 consecutive strikeouts by Crochet, and a separate streak of 6 consecutive strikeouts by Crochet. Crochet mowing him down. How many strikeouts does he have? 7 and 6 strikeout streaks is crazy. He's leading the league in strikeouts at 59. Wow. Seth Lugo's second in ERA. Peterson also hitting 392 with 12 bombs, 30 RBI. Crushing it. Stop throwing right-handers against him, everybody. All right, let's do another month. Drop to second place. Back up to first place. Oh, we're interrupted by the owner, even though we have that turned off. Let's go to the end of the month. All right, there we go. At the end of the month, we are a half game behind the Guardians. And the top wild card spot. Otani's second league in batting with 356. Peterson has fallen off the home run and RBI leaderboards, but he is tops in OPS with 1142. Crochet still bringing it, now leading the league in ERA and also strikeouts. Where is he in wins? He's 6-2, so he's in Triple Crown position. Man, Crochet. Amazing. All right, let's do another month here. Ooh, we dropped to third place for a moment, but back up to second. Still staying above 500. 553 win percentage. 3 games behind the Guardians. Still the top wildcard position. Shohei still second in batting, and now second in home runs. Shohei's second in OPS as well. Peterson's dropped to third. Lugo's still second in ERA. Crochet still leading in strikeouts. All right, let's go to the All-Star game. All-Star break, I mean. A 4-game home run streak by Otani, and Otani is the leading All-Star vote getter. Nice. I think that leads the majors, not just the league. I think he is the major league leader to get that achievement. One more game to get to the All-Star break. All right, we finished 55-43, 2.5 games behind the Guardians, and in the top wildcard position, 2 games ahead of the Twins and the Tigers for the wildcard. Let's check out the All-Star voting. So AL fan voting, let's see. We're looking for White Sox. All right, nothing in the top 5 positions. Peterson, our starting center fielder, second in center field behind Aaron Judge. Shohei tops in right field and all the majors in votes. And Lugo and Crochet, 2 starting pitchers in the top 5 in votes. So the AI has a hard time voting for created and historically imported players, but these players are already in 2024. The AI doesn't seem to have a problem with them. So I'm going to actually screenshot this. I've been putting together some screenshots and stuff to try to explain this to the devs. It is a pretty low importance bug, but it does seem to be a bug. And OOTP is pretty good about it. If you can report the bugs and document them in the forum, they usually do what they can to address them. But again, this doesn't affect play so much, so I don't know how much priority it'll get. But So we didn't get a reliever in there, but actually we don't have. I don't think we had any. We didn't upgrade relief at all, so I won't be surprised if we don't have a good reliever here. So Kopech has 20 saves, but a pretty high ERA, 4.25, 4.91 FIP. The whip's not bad though, considering how many walks he gives up. It's just a 1.23. Let's see how our added pitchers are doing. Lopez is 9-6 with a 4.32. Lugo 6-2 with a. Oh, you know what? I forgot to put us on always start highest rested. So that might help us going forward. All right, let's go to the home run challenge. Oh, no, let's see who got selected to the game. So Lugo was selected. Wow, Lugo's the only pitcher selected. Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense. And then on the batting side, Peterson was selected. Ohtani was voted in. So that's it. 3 All-Stars. Do we feel we got snubbed? Let's take a look. Profar's only OPS is only 868. It is 18 home runs with a 299 batting average, though. Seems like that's pretty solid all-star credentials. But all of our imported players performing pretty well. Chapman's the worst with 14 home runs and 264 average. But he also has 16 steals against 8 caught. Teoscar's got 13 steals against 2 caught. And Ohtani already has 44 steals against 5 caught. All right, pretty good. Let's go to the All-Star, the Home Run Challenge. Ohtani's in there, and that's it. Just Ohtani from our team. And he's beat by Ozuna 6-5. Look at all these single-digit home run totals in the first round. Here's a good example. We reported this after this was a problem. After the second round, it would just finish the sim and it wouldn't actually show the other results. It's been fixed. Nice work by OOTP. It was fixed pretty quickly, too. All right, Mike Trout wins. Fish Boy. Congratulations on the Home Run Challenge title. And then let's sim a day to the All-Star game itself. The NL wins in 15 innings. They scored 2 runs apiece in the 13th to keep it going. And the NL finally walks it off in the 15th. Now let's check out the box score, because when this happens, usually the last pitcher pitches like 10 innings. Oh, look at this win probability graph, too. 2 runs in the top of the 13th, 2 runs in the bottom. All right, let's see what the pitchers did here. Oh, no, look at that. It managed its pitchers pretty well. When we've seen this before, like Blanco and Fat had to pitch 2 2/3 each. We've seen this. They've had to pitch like 6-7 innings before. So the AI actually managed the pitchers better today. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm impressed. And that is a fun all-star game. Look at this win probability graph. That's great. Okay. Back to the standings view. We'll finish the month of July. The Holler says, I fill out my form without the audio on or checking literally anything and forgot Shohei would be on the team. I think you're not the only one, Holler, because 21% I thought was pretty low for MVP with Shohei on the team. So I don't think you're alone on that one. And Shohei was such an instant pick that we didn't really talk about him much. He was like the one auto pick of the free agency class. All right, this is a problem. The White Sox have dropped to 3rd place in the division and 2nd place in the wild card. So we're going to have to pick it up here. Shohei's doing his job. 348, 33 home runs, 1083 OPS. Lugo still in there second in ERA. Crochet leading in wins and strikeouts. How far is Crochet from the ERA title? 3.05. So he's more than a half run out on ERA. But, let's try to at least make the playoffs here. So in a repeat of last night, Xavier Edwards, Jose Iglesias, just batting out of their minds. And Xavier Edwards, now Victor Robles, 82 and 71 steals each. That's just something we noticed last night. I noticed it's still continuing. What's the stealing in the AL looking like? Yeah, David Hamilton was 68. Michael Garcia was 67. But the NL running away with it. No pun intended. All right, let's do the month of August. All right, White Sox back up to second. Back up to first. Nice. And Shohei leading the league in batting now. 81 and 56. No one else has over... Oh, no. The Dodgers have 90 wins. Okay. What the heck? We took Teoscar and Shohei from the Dodgers. And they're 90 and 46. Their outfield... They've put Gavin Lux in a DH. And their outfield is now Pages, Taylor, and Hayward. That is crazy. Wow. Yeah, Glasnow's 21 and 4 already. Is there a secret Andy Pages I'm not familiar with? He's hitting 317 with 24 home runs. I don't know what you're talking about, Holler. Check out the division graph. Colorado just on a straight line down. 34 and 103. I think they're playing they're playing low ball by themselves. They're playing low ball by themselves in this league. All right, let's go back to the standings view. Let's we're already on September 1st, so might as well go to the regular season end. Can we stay in first place? The Twins are closing the gap. We remain stubbornly ahead, though. Ohtani, 58 consecutive steals by Ohtani. 43-game on-base streak by Ohtani. 24-game hitting streak. Wow. That's crazy. Victor Robles ended up with 100. Well, we have one more game to go. Let's play that last game. Okay. Shohei went 40-40. I guarantee you it's more than 40-40. Ohtani wins a batting championship, hitting 370. Wow. And he lost the RBI title not to Judge, but to Giancarlo Stanton. Chapman, who I did put in the leadoff spot, does go 2020. Let's see. Did he actually go more than 2020? And how did he end up playing? 93 and 69 is our record. Very nice loss total. And we finished 3 games ahead of both the Twins and the Guardians. Actually, second best record in the AL. Just behind the Mariners. 96 and 66. The Dodgers, who lost Teoscar and Shohei to us, won 108 games. Yeah, the Rockies beat the White Sox record by winning 40 games. 40 and 122. The Nationals, though, simming much better in OTP 26 than they did in OTP 25. In OTP 25, when we played low ball in particular, when we're really looking at the bottoms of the divisions, the Nationals, the Rockies, um, occasionally the Royals all perform, and the Athletics all perform terribly. But the Nationals are now a 500 team in this sim. That's impressive. All right, let's go to the postseason. Oh wait, we don't need a game 150, 163. It seems. So let's see. And we are not in the wild card, so we're just gonna speed sim the wild card round. Oh, Smiley Face Jane, you're going to go on tonight? Awesome. We're going to raid into Smiley Face Jane after this stream. For those of you who don't know Smiley Face Jane, let's give a shout out here. One of the best Perfect Team players in OTP, or in Perfect Team 25 last cycle. And started streaming. I highly recommend, if you're new to Perfect Team, want to learn how to get better, few ways better to do that than to watch one of the best Perfect Team players around, Smiley Face Jane. I always hang out after I'm done streaming. Whenever we raid in to her stream, I learn a ton watching the roster building and the drafting. So, yeah, highly recommend it. Stick around for the stream. Smiley Face Jane. Any comment on what you're going to go over tonight, Smiley Face Jane? I mean, it's worth sticking around no matter what. Whether she's doing roster builds or drafts or whatever, it's all good. But I was just kind of curious. Perfect league and some roster builds. Perfect. Perfect. I'm especially interested in the roster builds. All right. Lots of sweeps in the wildcard rounds. The Twins 2-0 over the Red Sox. Guardians 2-0 over the Yankees. Phillies 2-0 over the Marlins. And Padres 2-0 over the Brewers. All right, so now we'll go to one of two streamers doing perfectly. Oh, who's the other streamer in Perfect League, Claydog? Let's go to the scores view. I like this for the playoffs. All right, we'll do the Mariners Twins games first. Pitching duel. Twins win 2-1, scoring one in the top of the ninth. And then in our game, we've got Crochet on the mound for us. Ooh, we lose 4-0. A 3-hit shutout. The bats go silent. No, yeah, Claydog. I assumed you meant it positive. I didn't realize that Seawit was in Perfect League, so that's great. The Perfect League stuff though, I personally just I can only do so many things in OTP and Perfect Team, and for me it's the league team that suffers. So my league teams definitely get neglected. I'm never gonna be in Perfect League, so it's just like it's so far from what I'm doing. But I really like tournament play, so I'm definitely checking out the roster building. And during the season, I think partly because like I like it while it's around, I really enjoy PT Live. Um, that's really fun for me. All right, so we're down 0-1. Not a great start to the playoffs. All right, the Phillies beat the Cardinals 7-1. The really fun thing about OTP 26 too is now we have a different set of teams in the playoffs when we do these postseason coverages. I really like it because it's a whole different season, a whole different set of ratings and stuff. Players have moved around. The Padres no hit the Dodgers. That is awesome. Is it a perfect game? 4 walks by Dylan Cease. 9 strikeout no hitter against the Dodgers. Are we finally seeing the impact of not having Shohei and Teoscar? I mean, you still had to silence Betts and Freeman and Muncy, and it's still a pretty good lineup. Yeah, 138 pitches. 133 pitches. Yeah. Wow. No pitch count for him. That's pretty awesome, though. No hitter in the postseason. All right. Mariners Twins. Twins leading 1-0. Twins win again. And, I don't like this Twins team because they beat our Force 4 trade Mets in the World Series. And, okay, now it's our turn to shut out the Guardians. A 2-hitter this time. White Sox win 4-0. Home runs by Shohei and Teoscar. I just talked about how the Dodgers missed them in their no-hitter. They're over here hitting bombs. All right, AL's going to be on a NL's going to be on a travel day. Or sorry, AL's on a travel day. I was right the first time I said it. Okay, Phillies Cardinals, game 2. Whoa, it's a shootout, 18-11. The Phillies win it. Football score, a weird football score, but a football score. What a touchdown with a 2-point conversion of the field goal for the 11. And then 6 field goals for the Phillies. They couldn't punch it in. Yeah, think about all the criticism they would get, though, Clay Dog. If you let a pitcher nowadays in the playoffs go 133 pitches with a no-hitter, they would treat you like you're Billy Martin or Dusty Baker or something. Yeah, 21-14 hits. That's definitely a football score, right? All right, Dodgers lose 6-1. They've had 1 run in 2 games, 5 hits in 2 games. Yeah, I think the criticism would really heighten when his arm falls off a few weeks later, right? If he makes it through the season, then I think it might be forgotten. All right, NL's on a travel day. We got the AL back in action. Twins looking to close out the Mariners. Sorry, Max. The Twins swept the Mariners, winning 8-6. And the White Sox lose again, 7-3 this time. Cleveland within 1 game of advancing and eliminating our White Sox. All right. Philly looking to close out the Cardinals. Cardinals win 2-0 to force a game 4. San Diego looking to close out the Dodgers. They've been dominant. Their pitching has been quieting the Dodger bats. The Dodgers win 4-2, scoring 2 in the top of the 10th to force a game 4. All right, and can we force a game 5? Oh, it takes 12 innings, but we score 1 in the top of the 12th to win 14-13. The Guardians missed their extra point. And we take it. 14-13. They out-hit us, and we made an error, but we still won. Teoscar did hit 3 bombs. Profar hit 2 bombs. Wow. What a game. We should have watched that one. Holy cow. What happened in the top of the 8-run 4th inning? Yeah. Okay, we got to look at the top of the 4th and the top of the 12th. Top of the 4th, Shohei strikes out. Jock hits a double. Teoscar hits a 2-run bomb. And then we hit the White Sox part of the lineup. DeYoung flies out. That's 2 outs now. Everything from here on is 2 outs. We've had 2 runs in and 2 outs. Nicky Lopez walks. Andrew Vaughn singles. Corey Lee doubles. Matt Chapman singles. They bring in Shane Bieber. Profar hits a 2-run bomb. Shohei hits a solo bomb. Peterson walks, and then Teoscar makes the last out. Wow. All right, and then in the top of the 12th, DeYoung flies out. Nicky Lopez singles. They intentionally walk Andrew Vaughn. Oh, after a steal, they intentionally walk Andrew Vaughn. Corey Lee singles. Bases loaded. Matt Chapman hits a sac fly. A sac fly for the win. Yeah, the original White Sox have been pulling their weight. Corey Lee went yard to walk off the first game of the season, and he's in the mix for that rally too. All right, we force a game 5. Philly closes out the series against the Cardinals, winning 7-6. Oh yeah, you're right. They were a big part of the 4th inning rally too, Rev Jr. Yeah, original White Sox coming through. Padres close out the Dodgers, winning 4-2. So the Dodgers finally, they did manage the regular season without Teoscar and Shohei, but it caught up with them in the postseason. All right, game 5. I think we got to watch this, right? We learned this from Sly Face Jane. We're going to turn off achievements because it'll say you made. We're going to uncheck that. It'll say you made it to the NLCS or advanced to the ALCS, and so we have to hide that. Oh, by the way, what was Ohtani's 40-40? It was actually 48-72. Nice. Last night he went 60. No. Did he go 60? Yeah, he went 60-80. He hit his 60th home run on the last day of the season. All right, so now we can quick play. We can do highlights. All right, Stephen Kwan leading off the top of the first for Cleveland. Line drive into right center field. That's going to be in for extra bases. Lead off double for Kwan. But we got out of that jam. Top of the 4th now for Cleveland. Josh Naylor leading off with a 1-2 count. Oh, that's a deep shot to left center field. That is going to be gone. All right, we advance to the bottom of the 4th. Runner on first for Shohei. 1-2 count. Ground ball to second. Over to short, back to first for the double play. Bottom of the 5th. Teoscar up. Full count. Draws the walk. But that brings up the White Sox. 1 out. Looks like Teoscar was able to advance during DeYoung's at-bat. So Nicky Lopez with a 1-2 count. Fly ball, center field. Is it deep enough to score the runner? It does not. They hold Teoscar at third. You know, with the rest of the White Sox coming up, I probably would have sent him, but pops it up to third, and that ends the rally. All right, bottom of the 6th. We've got Chapman leading things off. Line drive into left. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Why? Because I keep talking down about the original White Sox. Just hating on half the roster. Yeah. All right. That brings up Profar. Full count. Pops it up. Pops it up as if you were an original White Sox. All right. That brings up Shohei with 2 outs and a 2-1 count. Grounds it back to the pitcher like an original White Sox for the out. And they're out of that. That rally comes to an end. Top of the 7th. Schneemann, one of the best names around. He goes deep to left center field. And he goes yard off Crochet. All right, not too bad, though. Still only 2 down. Only 2 down. Bottom of the 7th. Full count for Jock Peterson. Starting center fielder, Jock Peterson. Bloops it into right field. That's going to drop in for a base hit. Then brings up to Oscar. The last hope before the original White Sox come up. Fly ball to right field. Not deep enough. So with 1 out, we got DeYoung up at bat. 0-2 count. Throw. Oh my goodness. We're on sabermetric. Why is he running? That sucks. That's why I don't like the high steal sliders, because you run yourself out of innings. And we're on sabermetric. I do not think he should have been running there. All right. And we didn't set any individual player sliders to override, so I don't know why he was going. Okay. Top of the 8th. 2 out. 1-2 count for Laureano with a runner on first. Ground ball to second. Oh, diving play, but can't make the throw. Well, we held him there, so scoreless. So still 2-0. Top of the 9th. Cleveland looking for some insurance. Quan again. Line drive over the shortstop's head into center field. The runner had to hold up, though, to see if it got in. So they do hold him the first and second. And no run scored. Okay, we're in the bottom of the 9th, down by 2. And we're at the top of the order. 1-2 count for Chapman. And he hits it to center field, but it holds up long enough for the center field to get under that. All right, 1 out for Profar. 3-1 count. Draws the walk. Jock had as much faith in the original White Sox as I do, yeah. Shohei, lefty-lefty matchup, though. 0-2 count. Fly ball to center. That's going to hang up long enough for the out. Oh, and here's Jock with a lefty-lefty matchup. It comes down to this. Oh, it goes down swinging. All right. Well, I think we made it further than I thought we would, so that was pretty fun. I would have liked to see that ride continue, though. This is a fun team. All right, so it's the Guardians and Twins in the ALCS. Twins win 12-1, as if they're playing the Force 4 Trade Mets. The doubters are happy? Yes. It'll make for a more interesting pack giveaway for sure. All right, NLCS kicks off. Phillies Padres. Seems like such an odd combo. Padres win 5-2. Guardians win 8-2, tying that series at 1 apiece. AL's going to be on a travel day. And the Padres win 6-4, taking a 2-0 series lead. They don't miss Jurickson Profar at all. All right. Twins win 3-0, shutting out the Guardians, taking a 2-1 series lead. Padres win 12-2, commanding 3-0 lead in the NLCS. And the Twins take a 3-1 lead, beating the Guardians 6-5, despite 2 in the bottom of the ninth by the Guardians. All right, San Diego looking to sweep the Phillies in the NLCS. Oh, Phillies force a game 5, winning 6-4. And the Twins finish the gentleman sweep 4-1 of the Guardians. And they are advancing to the World Series. That's where they beat the Mets. Force 4 trade Mets. They beat them in the World Series. They're in there again. 2 sims in a row. The Twins are in the World Series. Padres also 4-1 win, 6-3 advance to the World Series. This is an interesting World Series combo. Padres and Twins. If Cheeky were still streaming a lot, this is like Twins 34 hanging out in Cheeky's stream. This is that World Series. The holler, as someone who lives in Minnesota, would like real life to resemble OTV more than it does. Twins win 5-2. Will they win the World Series for the second simulation in a row? Twins win 3-2, scoring 1 in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead. Travel day. Padres looking to regroup at home. Twins win 9-0 on the road. 3-hit shutout of the Padres. Wow. Despite 11 strikeouts and 5 2/3 by Dylan Cease. Okay, the Twins looking to sweep the Padres here in Game 4. You know, we did forget to go to a 4-man rotation in the postseason. I wonder if that would have mattered. It probably would have, right? That's my mistake. All right. Padres win 6-5, forcing a Game 5. Yeah, let's see. I want to see the Dylan Cease's stats. Oh, this is this series. What about... Oh, sorry. Padres are over here. Yeah, 2-0. 13 strikeouts in 14 innings. 2.57 ERA in the championship series. And in the division series, he had that no-hitter. Yeah, that's 3-0 in the first 2 rounds. You're right. He did carry them. All right. San Diego trying to force now a Game 6. The Twins win 4-1, winning 3-2. All right, let's watch the awarding of the trophy here. Congratulations to the Twins. 2 Sims in a row. They win the World Series, the 2024 World Series. All right, let's go to the mailbox for the postseason awards. Actually, let me save this. Yeah, I was a little sad that run ended too. This team was starting to grow on me. I like the players we brought in. You know, like Nicky Lopez was a favorite card in PT24. I like that the original White Sox were scrapping and contributing. All right, let's see. Great Glove Awards. Matt Chapman at third base. What's up, Matt Chapman? That's one of our acquisitions. Nice. That's awesome. I like that. His fielding rating was not that great, was it? He was a 55. This goes to Smiley Face James' point that the fielding ratings just seem a little squished. Right? He's a 55 and he won the Gold Glove. So yeah, he also was pretty handy with about 25 home runs, 267 average. But yeah, that Gold Glove, that's nice. Let's 6.3 zone rating, 2.23 range. Efficiency above 1. I mean, they're not great numbers, but I guess at third base, that's pretty good. All right, reliever of the year. Now, we just had original White Sox in the bullpen, so we weren't really looking to even get votes here. But Mason Miller for the A's wins it, 41 saves and a 1.64 ERA. Platinum Stick, we should be in for a few of these, if not a handful. Let's see. Wow, no, none on the first screen. Just Shohei? Wow. Just Shohei. 1 Platinum Stick. Wow. I'm a little surprised. I thought we'd get at least 2 or 3. And I thought we might get surprised with maybe 1 more, but nope. Just Shohei. Okay, Rookie of the Year. I don't think we have anyone in the running for this, but maybe an original White Sox. No, Wyatt Langford wins it with 23 home runs and a 293 average. Cole Keith finishes second. All right, Cy Young. Do we have any... Oh, our pictures got cold there. Oh, no, sorry. Just Fetty. Just Fetty got cold. Yeah, I don't think we have a candidate here. Same 1, 2, 3 on every AL Rookie of the Year ballot. Oh, to get to those point totals? Yeah, Crochet's probably got an outside chance, but I'm not going to hold my breath there. So let's see the point totals. Oh, yeah, you're right. It would have been 1, 2, 3. Very consistent voters. Cy Young. Scooble wins it. Do we even get... Crochet got enough votes to finish in 5th place. Lugo finishes in 7th place. So yeah, not too bad. Could have been better, but not too bad. Yes, Brian Wu. I use this. Where is it? Where's my Wu emote from EVC? I use that every time Brian Wu's name comes out in any stream I'm watching. There it is. Brian Wu. All right. So yeah, you know, I mean, his ERA may be significantly better. So Scooble went 18-8. Crochet went 17-10. 7.9 WAR, 2.62 ERA. Crochet, yeah, his ERA was worse. His WAR was a little lower. His record was a little worse. But not a blowout by any means. Okay, MVP. Here we go. Does Shohei have a chance? 1165 OPS, 48 bombs, 72 steals. The steals might be big here. 12.4 WAR, 130 RBI, 143 runs scored. 370 average. 370 average. 370 with 48 bombs and 72 stolen bases. And only caught 6 times. I'm going with Shohei on this. I don't even care what Aaron Judge did. I'm going Shohei here. All right, let's see what happens as we go to MVP. Shohei Ohtani, chosen AL's best player. Unanimous. Judge finishes second. Jock Peterson gets 40 points in MVP votes. Starting center fielder, Jock Peterson. Jurickson Profar gets 1 point. So Chapman wins the Gold Glove. I think, who was it? Rev Jr. said everyone contributed in some way. Chapman wins the Gold Glove. Ohtani wins an MVP. Peterson and Profar get MVP votes. Teoscar hits 25 bombs and hits 290. Yeah, everyone chipped in. All right, let's go to the pack giveaway form and give out some packs before we raid into Smiley Face Jane. Smiley Face Jane, if you're not already live, you can go ahead and probably fire it up. We're almost done here. And let's create a spreadsheet out of this. All right, let me resize some columns and then I'll put it up on the screen. All right, let me make sure I'm going to save the numerical guesses until we get to that point. Yeah, okay. I think this is good. Okay, so let's do a little sort here. We'll start with column D. Okay, here we go. Will this team finish with a 500 or better regular season record? They did. So that means we have left Kayaking Santa, Flying WV, Reb Jr., Smiley Face Jane, The Holler, AW, Clay Dog, Leopard 119. Will this team make it to the playoffs? Yes, they did. Reb Jr., Smiley Face Jane, The Holler, AW, Clay Dog, and Leopard 119. Clay Dog going with a new Twitch name without the O again, I noticed. It was a typo yesterday. Today it seems to be a thing. Will this team make it to the World Series? They did not make it to the World Series. So unfortunately, Leopard gets eliminated. Leopard was the hopeful one. Will this team win the World Series? Okay. Fortunately, everyone who said no to getting there said no to winning. Will a player on the team win the Cy Young Award? No, and we did not. So everyone survives. Will a batter win the MVP? Yes, Shohei did. That means Smiley Face Jane and AW advance. Now the new tiebreaker format doesn't hit until after the game's won. If it's 92, if the answer was 92, we would have a tie going into the tiebreaker. But the number of regular season wins was 93. Which means one win in favor of Smiley Face Jane. Oh, here, let me resize. I just noticed you guys can't see that. So yeah, it was down to 96 and 88. The midpoint would have been 92. Would have been a tie, forcing us into the tiebreaker section. But with 93 wins, Smiley Face Jane takes it. And AW finishes second. 7 packs for Smiley Face Jane, 3 for AW. And unfortunately, I cannot award object permanence to Holler. That's something you have to gain on your own. Yes, this was a sweepstakes of those people who remember that Shohei Ohtani exists in this league and that we signed him in the offseason. Now, let's do the tiebreaker second just to see who would have taken the tiebreaker out of everybody. All right, highest WAR generated by one of the players. We know it's 12.4. I don't even have to look. It's pretty memorable, 12.4. Can I get you a brain? Okay, so Smiley Face Jane would have taken that with a 10.9 guess. Regular season batting average. Who led this team in batting average? Should be Shohei at 370, right? Yep, Shohei with 370. That's the part that's surprising. I'm not surprised he won the MVP, but 370. It's basically the highest guess. 321 here by Flying WV. 336 by Smiley Face Jane. All right, Smiley Face Jane already off to a 2-0 for everybody lead. Best ERA with at least 100 innings pitched. Seth Lugo with a 3.01. 3.09. 2.97 by Reb Jr. I think it's a 2.97 by Reb Jr. Is anyone closer to 3.01? Oh, Tommy, All I Do Is Win. Also a 3.05. So we have a tie. They both get marks there. Oh yeah, I've been color coding these so that we don't miss them. Okay, home runs hit by the player who leads this team in home runs. Again, is it Shohei? Yeah, 48 by Shohei. Oh, exactly right. Flying WV, AW, and Clay Dog. Exactly right. Wow. Nicely done. All right, regular season strikeouts by the pitching leader in strikeouts. That is Crochet with 279. Mewtwo is 3 away. T Destroyer is 4 away. Finder V, what was the total? 279, so 10 away. I think it was Mewtwo 3 away. Nice guess. Claydog has noticed the Sims are ridiculously high on strikeouts so far. Yet you guessed 211, Claydog. Regular season OPS. 1165 by Shohei. 1165. I think the highest guess takes it, which is Flying WV. Alright, so far it would be Smiley Face Jane with 2 and Flying WV with 2. Oh, that's right, it was Claydog, not Claydog. Claydog underestimated the number of strikeouts, but Claydog noticed that there have been a lot of strikeouts. Okay. Best whip with at least 100 innings pitched. .09. Yep, Crochet. 1.09. AW with a 1.08. Okay. So here's what would have happened. The rules state that if there are still ties left, you would split the packs. So Smiley Face Jane, Flying WV, and AW would have split the 10 packs. The 3 people guessing 48 home runs was pretty impressive. Exactly. All right. Good job, everybody. Reb Jr. guessing the meme cost you, right, in the hypothetical tie. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Sly Face Jane, first place. Congratulations. AW, second place. All right. I hope you all had fun. I had a blast doing that sim. That was a really good time. Makes me feel closer to the White Sox now. It did take 7 players. Now, granted, they were free agents, so it's not like we had our pick of the litter of the entire league. But we did get Shohei. I thought we had a fun group of players come in, joining a pretty fun group of White Sox. Yeah, Otani. This is the second sim in a row where Otani has crushed it. So, but the hitting 370 is new. He did not do that last night. But yeah, thanks for being here, everybody. Thank you especially to Ezra Denny, who got us started off with a huge raid. And thanks to all of you for hanging around. Great participation in the pack giveaway. 13, was it 13 people? 14 people? Awesome. Schrodinger's Otani strikes again. All right. So let's see. Is Smiley Face Jane live yet? Yes. Okay, we're going to rate into Smiley Face Jane. Like I said before, you'll learn a ton about becoming a better Perfect Team player by watching Smiley Face Jane stream. So please stick around. All right. And let's see. Tomorrow I am off. Thursday will probably be just a pack ripping session. It's a chill kind of part of like a second almost day off, but I do want to still give away packs and stuff. So we do the pack. We have a pack ripping guessing game. That's pretty fun. And then Friday afternoon and Friday night I'll be streaming. Oh, and tomorrow around noon Pacific time, I will be on Dr. Dynastic stream helping out with the Houston Astros top 10 teams in franchise history. So what I had told him was he already had people doing the Mets, and I knew there were bigger Mariners fans than I am. So I said, look, I'll just I'll pinch hit whenever you have a team that no one wants to do, because I'm a fan of general baseball history. So yeah, I'm gonna help him. I think with the Astros tomorrow. So around 12 Pacific time. Check that out if you're interested. Otherwise, hope to see you Thursday night at the usual time, 10 p.m. Pacific time.